to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another episode of Heart of the Matter. Heart of the Matter is a platform where we are here to get past the facade of social media and I got it all together. We want to allow people to share their stories, things that they have gone through that was a tough experience in their life, and then allow it to encourage you and help you get through some of your tough experiences. Today we are getting to the heart of the matter with singer, songwriter, and all-around dope chick, Toni Estes.
Hey girl.
Hey. I want to allow Toni to introduce herself to you and tell you a little bit more about her and share her story with you. So if you're ready, let's get into Toni's story. Welcome back. If you were just joining us today, we are getting to the heart of the matter with Toni Estes. As you know, a lot of us often, once you get married, you hear about things that you should do or you have in your mind of what a wife looks like, and you begin to have children, and then along the way you begin to fit into a role, but where are you? So Toni, tell us a little bit more about your marriage. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 14 whole years. I can't believe I've been married that long, but 14 years. I've been married 14 years. Yep.
Well, tell me more about when you became a songwriter and a singer, and when did you start that?
A singer and a songwriter, I've been I've been that for my whole life. I started doing professional, like being paid for like TV commercials, stuff like that when I was 6.
Wow.
So I've been doing it for a long, so when I say my whole life, pretty much my whole life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I love it. So, you know, you just get used to doing that. That ends up being who you are, at least you think, you know, that's who I am, what do I, you know, whatever. I did that forever on huge scale, and then met my husband. And I will say this, I was always a person that knew I wasn't willing to sacrifice everything for the music business. So I always knew that I wanted kids. I always knew that I wanted a husband. And so that's what I did. And so I met my husband, amazing guy. We got married and we were married for a few years. And I moved from my home state to his home state. And so that was a bit of an adjustment. Then we had babies. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do a stay-at-home mom thing. I'm gonna do da-da-da-da-da. And then like halfway through, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do the stay-at-home mom.
Right.
Something else. You know, it was just, it began to be a little suffocating.
Yes.
I don't know, and I don't know if I felt suffocated probably because, I was about to say because I was nursing, but that sounds crazy. But, you know, like just as it moved, you just feel like, hey, everybody back up.
Everybody needs you.
Everybody needs you. And so, but I love being a mom, but it just, since I had so much of me to myself and it created something, you know, of substance beforehand, to just go from 60 to 0 was just a lot. It was a little overwhelming. And so, it was probably because when I was pregnant with Justin, I was so hard to get along with. It was just a rough, for whatever reason, I was just, you know, hormones probably, but I decided I got to do something else. So I talked to one of my producer friends, really good friend of mine, and I was like, you know, we had kind of talked about me doing another record, but at that point I was knee deep in mommyhood and loving every ounce of it. And so, and not that I didn't love it, even I just knew I needed more.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was just about me opposed to just the baby. So after I had my daughter, I was like, I really want to start. And so I remember when this will tell you how long of the process has been for me to finish the record. I recorded my first song for the album that I'm about to release, which that song is not even on the record at this point. But I took Justin with me, and I had to take a pack and play. She was 5 months old.
Oh wow! And how old is your daughter now?
7.
Wow, that's crazy.
She was like, she went to
the year of completion.
Yes. Yes. Right. No, it really. So it was kind of like, so what are we gonna? You know. So I took her, and you know, I recorded, and I was like, okay, well, you know. So it was a slow and steady process, but it took a minute, and it was very, very hard because I wanted to be, you know, like my kids are like everything. My husband, my family.
They are. Listen, this is like mom of the year here.
Look, ugh. So it's, and you know, I just think that every mom, you know, they struggle with the, well, should I, you know, whatever. And so one of the things that I've always said, because my husband is very supportive of what I do. So he's like, just go do it, baby, be great, whatever you feel like you need to do. But I've, you know, I always say, like, I don't want to, you know, because it's all good while you're in it. You know what I mean? It's like, right. But I don't want the kids to get 22, 23, 24 and go, oh, my mom was amazing. She did this and she got this Grammy and she got this award and we had this big old pretty hat. You know, all of this stuff.
Right.
And they say, but she was never there.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't get there, only going to be 7.
You see it all the time.
Yes, you see it all the time. Yes,
yeah.
And then you look and going, was it really worth it? One of my good friends, Erica, who is also on the label, she's my producer's husband, she was like, you know, no matter what, you're always going to feel a little bit of guilt as a mom. Yeah. It's like, oh God. But now I am in a much different place than I was even 2 years ago, because I feel like the kids have their legs under them a little bit better.
What do you feel like was the moment when you were thinking, I'm ready to do more of me, or to bring a little bit more of me back into the mix, once you, as you mentioned, the kids had legs under them a little bit, when you knew, like, okay, now is the time?
You know how people say, so how did you know it was your husband? How did you know he was, you just knew?
Right.
And I think it was just an inner comfort. I can't, you know what I mean? There's not one thing was like, well, I looked in the mirror, my eyebrows were perfect. Both of them was symmetric. You know what I mean? 'Cause you know how that could be. It was just a feeling where you look at your kids and you go, okay, you're doing this pretty good, and you feel like the relationship is it's just in a place with your children, and your legs are under you better with your husband. Because another thing is, it's like, because my husband's like, go, you do, but you going, yeah, you just saying it. If I leave too many weekends in a row, like, I don't want you swiveling, look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to show my daughter and my son, like, you know, you can do, that you can be dope. You know what I'm saying? And be a good parent.
Right.
And, you know, especially my daughter. Because, you know, sometimes we can make moms feel like they got to sacrifice all
everything.
For them. Yeah. And I, you know, like, that's cool. I mean, I feel super blessed to have a husband that supports me, and I can stay at home and we can still eat. You know what I mean? Right. But, you know, I also feel blessed that I can do something else or explore other ideas, and it's just been and having kids has really just opened up my whole, I'm like, oh, life is real good right now. I feel like it's real jamming right now. You know, because we are where we're located, I don't have moms that are in the music business. They're like stay-at-home moms for real, like they do the cookies and and I'm a stay-at-home mom a little bit, but you know, I'm filming and, you know what I'm saying, doing all this other stuff.
Toni has a YouTube channel, so make sure that you go and subscribe.
The Toni Estes channel.
The Toni Estes channel, and that's ESTES, but of course I'll put it at the bottom.
You know, like you can't go to the mom and say, like, so when you were releasing your album, what'd you do?
Right.
Like, well, I don't have people that are here in my everyday life that I'm watching that can necessarily lend to that exact conversation. So it could be a little bit of a, you know, challenge, but the team that I do, just because I mean, like, it's great to have people that are doing it. So you're not doing an album, but you have a YouTube, so you know the struggle. Okay, I gotta get this done before I pick up the kids, and I gotta do, you know, whatever. So it's inspiring to have, because you can get in a place where you just never mind.
So how do you combat that? 'Cause I know for me, and I think we've talked about this before, that sometimes doing what we do can be lonely at times, because you are in the house, you are editing, you are, you know, everybody doesn't really know what really goes into hosting a YouTube channel or doing what you do on a daily basis, and especially being in the same field. So how do you combat the discouragement from that?
Girl, look, go on your channel. I mean, it just, you know, literally, it's a couple people that I watch. Like, and just, even whether I'm going on the Instagram, it's like, I could be laying in the bed like, oh, this is a whole lot. I'm just not feeling it. And I'll go on and see, I'm like, let me get out of here. I am tripping. Like, life is passing me by. And I'm just, you know what I mean? Because you you only get one shot, and the worst is to look back and go,
I wish I would have tried that. She actually has a marriage ministry with her husband, or I don't know if I should call it a ministry or a marriage.
People look at it as a ministry.
Yes, but listen, when it's marriage, it's ministry.
You need ministry.
That's up to me. Right. But she made the comment, she said, we can sing together, but we both can't talk together. So how do you find the balance with you and your husband, you doing your career, because I know it's demanding, and his career is definitely demanding as well.
Right.
And how do you find that balance, or even if it's not balanced, because I don't know if there's really a such thing as balance when it comes to human life. But you know.
It's a lie.
Yes. How do you guys coordinate or sing together?
Sing together. How do we sing together? It's a little easier now that the kids are bigger. We have a family Google Calendar, and I just try to put everybody's stuff on there. This is now. I feel like I'm the only person that really looks at it, because I'll put it all on there, and my husband goes, "Yes, I got such." It's like, did you look at the calendar? I have been a night owl my whole and complete entire life. My mom was like, you, since I was a baby.
Me too.
So my husband takes the kids to school every morning. He does all of that for me, and then I do the tail end stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing that we do kind of have down to a science. He kind of does the morning stuff on school days. I do the evening stuff. It's easy to look at people's situation. Oh, dang, if we could just get it down like them. Like, I don't want to have it down like that, because we ain't got it down at all.
Listen, and that's the whole thing. I think people think that you have it together. I mean, hence the reason we created Heart of the Matter, because we don't have it together.
No,
we trucking together just like you, or maybe we have some steps to help you get it together, or maybe that you can implement to be more together, but nobody really truly has it like down to a science, even as flawless as Beyonce is.
You'd be like, and it's like, because you do. You know, I mean, and it's like, I was reading this book, I can't remember, it was by Toni Estes' daughter. But at the beginning of the book, she was talking about how you'll have the mom that's the crafting mom. It's like, dang, she do all the crafts, and you looking at her like, dang, well, I need to do crafts with my kids, but you don't know her house look like crazy.
Yes.
Or it's the mom that has, you know, her house is completely neat, but then the kids is like nervous and stressed. Yes. So you only see one side, and most of the time we pick the good stuff and don't really realize that it's something that goes into it.
It depends on your household. It depends on your kids. I spoiled my son rotten, so now I'm paying for it, because now he's 13. And I mean, I'm breaking him now, but it was a process to even break him, because we always did stuff for him because he was the baby and he was the only boy. Yes. You know, so every household goes through different phases, I think.
Right.
So.
And that makes me feel better, because I'm going, oh gosh.
No.
But it's, you know, life is good, and it is a journey. It's a process.
One of my greatest fears, I always say to my husband, is I don't want our kids to leave the house and we are sitting here looking like, so what is it now? Or we don't know each other because we haven't spent time together, because we're always catering to the kids or work and everything. So what advice would you give to someone trying to make sure that they are not in that space, or to just begin to step out and do things that they enjoy? By themselves. Because I'm big on self-discovery and self-love.
You know, everybody is in a different space. Everybody's setup is different. Everybody's, you know, circumstances are different. But my kids are at school, and I'm just got free reign to do whatever. So I think it kind of, I know. Right. I think it started kind of there, where you're like, well, let me go out and specifically I'm gonna go to a movie by myself. Yes. I'm not gonna spend all of the day going to the grocery store and wiping down. I'm just, no, I'm not. If you're in a place where you kind of sad and just feeling unfulfilled,
that's the word.
Then sometimes people get in a rut and just can't
get out.
And sometimes you need to talk it out. Talk to your girlfriends. If you know what I'm saying, a trusted person, because one of the things that's really dope about what you're doing with Heart of the Matter is I believe, just because, you know, Johnny and I have the Marriage in Real Life thing that we do on Facebook Live.
Marriage in Real Life.
Yeah, I believe that it's important for people to hear other people's stories. Yeah. The example I always give, if I had not talked to mothers before I had my baby, and it had not been a constant conversation, you know what I'm saying, as I was pregnant, I would have thought something was wrong with my baby. Like, I've been thinking, he just keep waking up in the middle of the night. Why is he crying like that? Oh, just keep crying. I would think that something was wrong, but because other mothers had already set the standard for it. They're going to wake up in the middle of the night. They're going to cry. They going, you know what I'm saying? Gave me all of these things. You feel like, okay, I might feel like I'm going to die. But I'm not. That's why I think this is so dope. because because people just need to hear.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? And because you feel like, dang, I'm the only person that's ever.
Yes. Or you end up looking at somebody else's situation without really talking to them, and then you compare, and then you feel like this, or you're not doing it right, or they seem like they got it together.
And you're not even comparing to the real stuff.
Exactly.
You're not. And like I always say, I got so many sayings, but don't compare your behind the scene footage to somebody else's highlight reel.
That's good.
Because that's all you get. That's all you're getting is the highlight. I feel like when we're more honest and more and say, girl, I picked up the kids late today. I just completely forgot. Then you go, oh God, okay, so I'm not off.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So this platform is
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It makes life easier. Yep.
Well, Toni and I are getting ready to have some fun. So if you want to join us for a fun goofball session, then make sure that you stay tuned and watch part 2 of this video. Toni, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and these nuggets that you dropped. I think it's real good.
Yay. Thanks for
Make sure that you comment below and check out part 2. Like, why is she clapping there?
No, you cut that part out.
No, I'm gonna leave it in there.
You be like, I'm trying something new. Like, it was going, I don't like it.
Exactly.
Just boo.
Welcome back to. Alright. Let me get it. Right. Okay.